what's it? This is my Colin. That's what it's called, and we're talking into the side of the mic because we're professionals. We have a guest today. How do you pronounce your name again?
Ricardo Diez.
Ricardo Diez. Es aquí con nosotros.
Colin speaks a little Spanish, and it's very surprising.
Very short bursts, I can pull it off.
You pulled it off. It's pretty easy.
It's all about confidence.
Yeah.
That's
It's very hard for people to pronounce Diez for some reason because their brain is very trained to say Diaz.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they just struggle.
It's a subtle difference.
It's a subtle.
I think I said your name like 800 different ways today.
It's
So.
all right.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I can't remember yours. So it's okay.
That's good. My name's Timely Rain because no one else is gonna say it.
So, it is currently whatever time it is. What time is it?
It's pretty late.
It's pretty late.
We just did a show. We
did
co-headlined the show.
We co-headlined a show at Secret in Houston, and
It was awesome.
it went pretty well. Timely hosted. We were all on the show.
Yes.
They both did 30 minutes
Did 30 minutes each.
in front of however many Houston crazy people.
Yeah.
It was a fair amount, and I did 2 of the jokes that I did on Kill Tony. Just it was.
Did they
fan
still
service.
work or not?
Yes, they did, and I even talked about it. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was kind of dorky, but people liked it. So
You can repeat jokes, man. It's okay. At some point, you'll get a sense when they don't want to hear them anymore. But yeah.
All right. Okay. I was going to ask a question because I know Colin he knew about Kill Tony and watched, but he never really watched a bunch of it. You kind of said the same thing.
Yeah.
What made you switch to be like, okay, I guess I want to go sign up? Like, were you in town? Like,
I flew into Austin to try and do comedy. I had been to Texas as a tourist, and I wanted to come to the U.S. to do comedy. I had never done comedy in the U.S. And L.A. and New York seemed like you had to pay to do open mics, and Austin seemed cool, and I like barbecue. Honestly,
that's an awesome
it was
answer.
like, I'm gonna have fun in Texas. and then when I bought my tickets, everybody and I said I was going to Austin because I just heard, I guess, Rogan talk about Austin on his podcast a lot at the time, and I was, there's a scene, cool, let me go there. And he's opened the club. Let's go. I can't remember now if I already knew that Kill Tony was being shot in Austin or not at that point in time. I'm assuming I did, but everyone was like, "Yo, you're going to Austin? You're going to sign up for Kill Tony?" And I was like, honestly, I wasn't even thinking about it when I planned my trip.
Yeah.
I guess I will.
Yeah, but then I was like, well, yeah, of course I will. Yeah, sure.
I'm there.
Yeah, there you go.
How many times did you sign up before you
Once.
picked? Once.
On your first day?
That's
Oh, you're one of those? I love that.
Yeah.
I love those. Like,
Timely, how many times did you sign up?
I've signed up probably more than 20 times.
Yeah,
Brutal.
sorry.
And Kansai, it's his second time
Yeah.
signing up. I got pretty lucky. I think I was pretty lucky for getting it 8 to 10 times, but yeah.
No, you are lucky, man.
Yeah,
And that's I got picked on a good day also, and got a
Yeah,
good
that timing.
time slot
Mm.
after laser. So there was a lot of luck that day.
Yeah, no. I think there's always that's always a layer of everyone's fucking pick is just like there's this and then it's a culmination of a lot of magical moments.
Did you know you would do well? What did you think you would?
I mean, I knew that I had a bunch of short one-liners that were consistently working back home, and that therefore, if you ask me to do a minute of comedy, in principle, I have a very strong minute, because if you ask me to condense it, I don't know how many laughs I got in 1 minute, but it was one of the
It
strongest.
was about the strongest minute that I've seen.
Yeah,
on the show.
absolutely.
9 laughs in a minute or something.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So around there. Yeah.
it was insane. I did literally 3 jokes in 1 minute. And
Yeah.
so-
Yeah, I got a laugh when I came out, and I did the mic stand thing. And
Okay, what do you think about you guys, both of you, about the internet comparing each
so
of you?
after
What is y'all's individual feelings on this?
Someone said American Rick Diez. It's like, and that's why in my second visit,
Is it a father-son situation?
I went to a more aggressive sort of psycho thing. Because if people watch my first minute, it was very sort of meek and pathetic.
Yeah.
And then you're like, you sort of got like a serial killer energy. And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I'll give the people what they want.
Okay.
And then so my second minute, I did more of that. And they're like, no, he's Anthony Jeselnik. So I have to go a third direction with my third minute, or I'll
Just
just
figure it
fuck
out.
him and do whatever I want.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, I used to write a lot of serial killer jokes. I just kind of stopped.
I grew out of it.
I did. I grew out of it for one reason, which was I was looking at my persona and what I was doing on stage, and I was like, well, I want to write about other stuff that's gonna kind of contradict that vibe over time. So I'd like to phase out because it was like, I'm not a serial killer, even if I have the
vibe.
Sure, yeah, sure. As far as I can, but I mean, I'm not, like.
Basically,
You have to lean in, right? So if either I lean in or I have to phase out, because okay, I'm getting laughs, but then it's like if you say jokes that you're not getting laid, but then you want to talk about what happens when you get laid.
This is a major problem that I've talked about. That's why I want to start just recording jokes and posting them and just getting stuff out so that I can stop having contradictory material.
Yeah.
And I know I can contradict myself in the same set, and it probably doesn't actually matter, but it just bothers me.
To a point, it does matter, because some of, like over time, like, in one set it might not matter, but over time, your body of work and your whole hour will evolve.
Yeah. I had this one joke that was always really good to do. It was about, 2 years ago, I double messaged someone on a dating app. 2 years ago, I was down so bad, I double messaged this girl on Hinge, sent a message, and she didn't respond, so I sent another. And everyone says that never works, so you shouldn't do it. But I'll have you know, 1 week ago, I asked that very same girl to be my wife. And look, she still hasn't responded. But I got a pretty good feeling about it, For that joke to work, I have to not be established as being in any type of relationship at that point. So I can only do it at the very beginning. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I have lots of jokes about not having a car and having a car, because I have constantly had that up and down in my life, and trying to tell those within the same set. You got to pick one half or the other.
Well, I decided that my character or my persona on stage is someone who's single, regardless.
Yeah. I think it all works better that way.
Well, I mean,
for some people.
So far true, so fine.
Some people, their whole thing is being a married comic, and that's what they talk about the whole fucking time.
My fucking bitch wife.
You're bleeping it, yeah?
Let's see.
So you knew your minute would be pretty good.
I mean, I knew my minute was good for the audiences that I was used to performing for, but I had no idea whether it would work for a Texas audience under pressure in that setting, or they would think everything I do is hack. Because, the crowds back home are less used to comedy than here. So some stuff that's a little hack can still work there, whereas here, so it's like, where's the line? I didn't know.
And people who watch Kill Tony watch a lot of comedy.
Yeah, they definitely watch a lot of bad comedies.
That's also just proves like what's funny is funny is funny.
Exactly. Yeah.
What about your interview? Did you think
that was kind of funny? I made friends with this comedian called Francisco Rincon, and he's and he told me, dude, the interview is very important. You have to prepare it and stuff. And I was like, but I didn't expect to get picked 2 days in Austin. So I was like, all right. I was just kind of like, it was in the back of my mind. Okay, if I get pulled, maybe I should start thinking about something. So when my name got pulled, I was like, you need to be funny during the interview. You need to be funny during the interview. Just at least I knew that. You can't just be funny. So it's just like, be funny, say something funny. Whatever question that was, just be funny. I wasn't trying to be interesting.
I think that works, because I think people come to either like trying to be interesting or trying to be like defense, or like trying to put their own like thing in, and it's like, that's not your job right now.
Is a lot of people watch America's Got Talent, and they feel that it's in a lot of people's heads that if I'm going to be on a reality TV show or talent show, then I have to create a backstory about the drama of my family, and then, well, I'm a cancer survivor and my dad this, and then I went towards it. All right, but no, be funny. I'm Kill Tony, it's about being funny. So that's how I see it.
Yeah.
My interview, I didn't have a goal of any, because I was focused completely on the minute, which I was.
But I think that works for your brain.
But like, don't get me wrong. Like, if you're interesting during the interview, you might get a great performance. And
I feel like people can bomb in their minute, but if they're likable in the interview, they'll still get like a big joke book, and
Yeah, but if you want to be like a golden ticket or become a regular or whatever, then you will have to be funny during those 10 minutes. And that's a pretty, like, if you look at who's gotten any of these things, it's people that were just very funny during the whole thing, whether on purpose or not, right? Because if I if I look at the latest golden ticket, I felt like at times he was doing a joke on purpose, and at times it was just his timing.
Mm-hmm.
His interview, you mean?
Yeah.
He was. They kept saying like I could watch him talk for hours.
Mm-hmm.
That was very real.
And he had very good, like, I don't know, facial, but just he was obviously listening and reacting in the moment, and it was endearing.
He was not like trying too hard, which
Yeah.
I think can be very off-putting and very common on the show. Front desk.
Stop doing that.
Stop doing that. I've never done that. You think I do that all the time. I've never done that. I've never done that in front of you. Let me do it like this.
You have. Can say we love you, by the way.
We're cutting that.
He was like, I don't know. I think I talked about it somewhere else, but like, he came off like sort of like passive when I first met him, which was just backstage, and so I didn't really like him. But once we met it, especially when he found out
Do you
got
know
a
how
golden ticket.
passive you are probably backstage?
I was pretty. No, I said hi to Laser backstage, so I was not passive. I was active, if anything. So there. And then I saw him at Shakespeare's, and I wanted to say something, but he was like, "Listen," I was like, "I wonder what happened there." And then I found out he got a golden ticket. That made a lot of sense. But when we walked up to Creek in the Cave for your podcast at the exact same time, and we just sort of waved at each other, and we like immediately got along.
Yeah, well, there you go. Now you're part of the same family.
Yeah. The family.
The family.
You're like the head of the family now. You're fucking setting
He
shit.
came back glowing. Like, he was.
Who's the head of the family?
You.
Not the head of
Huh?
the family. Sometimes I like to take.
You set some shit up.
I like to. Well, if
Someone has to.
Exactly.
And we're all autistic and just like
No,
we don't take initiative.
it's like people are sometimes. Maybe it's the lonely child in me. That's got a positive.
Your only child.
Yeah, I am. So it's got a lot of negatives.
Can my friends come over?
No, but a lot of stuff for me was like, well, if I want to do something, I have to do it.
Yeah.
It's not. I can't just be a passive passenger and catch a ride. Or
Yeah,
something.
absolutely.
Yeah. And you were the first person to reach out to me when I got the.
Was it? I didn't expect that.
You were the first. Yeah. It was you and then Drew Nickens.
Yeah. I make a point of writing to anybody who
Yeah.
because it matters. Man.
No, it really, I
That
think
meant a
it's
lot to me.
It meant a lot.
I
to me.
was fucking adrift. Like I had no idea what to do, and I had Timely and Mike.
And I don't know anything.
They know more than me. Just.
I mean, I got
about the
almost.
stuff.
I was so lost when I got that thing. I was so lost, and then, which in a positive led me to take a bunch of crazy decisions that put me where I am now.
No, that's awesome.
I was very lost. So if I was like, no, if you can learn from my mistakes, or I can help you take some decisions faster than I took them, then I'm always going to be available for that.
Yeah, that's most of the time he'll ask me a question and I'll literally just be like, ask Rick.
Yeah, you can ask.
Yeah, I used to be like, I'm not worried about all that like networking stuff and how anything works or what clubs matter or what people matter. I'm just trying to write, and I just want to go on stage, which is a good attitude. But eventually, it's like, well, you have to figure that stuff out. And
Exactly.
I have people like y'all, and that's helpful.
I'm figuring stuff out. You see.
Me too.
You're a few steps ahead of me, so I appreciate.
Yeah.
Cross the river by feeling the stones, as the Chinese would say.
That's a beautiful expression. But what I'm seeing is the more I uncover, the more I see. So it's just worse and worse and worse.
Turn back now.
Yeah, it's funny. Like because we did the show right now. Like we're just recording after the show we did, and the guy that booked us, Mike Ryan, he was like, "Oh, last time you were here, you had less merch." And I was like, "Yeah, just little by little, building blocks. Just now I come with a few more things." And
let me know what merch ideas you have, because I have none.
I have
Apparently
some.
I'm supposed to. Great, she's got it covered. See,
you should sell your red glasses.
I am.
Yeah.
I wear these because
There it
I'm
is.
a very sensitive circadian rhythm guy.
He does.
I can't. I'm not gonna be able to.
You ever
sleep.
seen the red glasses Saturday Night Live sketch?
What? Which? Are you talking about the puppet thing?
The red glasses. No, I'm not talking about the puppet.
Oh, then I don't know.
I know. I'm gonna show you later.
Okay.
If only you If only you articulated, then
Yeah.
captions would generate themselves.
I'm the one that writes the captions, so it's fine.
Yeah, every clip you've ever seen
It's
on
fine.
Instagram, she made it.
I
don't know
will
how
write
any of
my
that shit
own
works.
captions.
Yeah.
It's hearing impaired friendly.
She has like
Okay.
she has CapCut and she pays for it.
This is what
I don't
people
pay
in
for it.
Texas sound like, Rick. It's a normal accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, he pays for it.
Yeah, but I do.
I pay for it.
Yeah, so whenever I have a clip, I just send it to you or Mike, and I'm like, "Can you make it? Can you fix it?" When they send it back, I'm like, "Yay!"
Yeah.
Lucky you.
Lucky him.
Lucky
That's like
me.
because I've done 100% all of that. I was gonna say like this on your like bringing more merch and stuff is like making your opportunity. Like no one's gonna give you anything to do the next thing. Like you have to figure out how to do that for yourself each and every time.
Yeah, and you get booked places, and I just tag along. And then
He's gotten up.
tell him about Lafayette.
We went to Lafayette to do comedy out there. They have a great local comedy scene that they drive in
Which
from.
one did you do in Lafayette?
It was this place called Cité des Arts that is like a theater that is adjacent to. It's like where they have an open mic there. It is a wonderful place. We did a ghost roast there where I was dressed as Amy Winehouse roasting a guy dressed as Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh, wow.
And your prize was you got to do 10 minutes of stand-up comedy dressed as yourself. And
I
So
won
it's Amy Winehouse.
by not participating.
why not? But he was eating edibles in the car because he was like, I'm not on this show.
I get to just hang out.
And they're Delta 8 edibles, mind you. But he's super high by the time we get there. And I'm like, hi, it's good to see you guys again. This is Colin, comedian from Houston. And they're like, you want to do time? And he's like,
I always say yes.
of course. Well,
Because I used to say no a lot.
Yeah.
you first had said nothing and just looked happy. And then you were like, yes. And then the guy comes up and is like, okay, what's your last name? And he like looks at me like, what's my fucking last name?
No,
Oh my god. Here we go.
don't.
Explain yours. But that's what it looked
My
like to
side-
everybody else in the
What's
room.
your last name? And I said Colin Sledge. And I looked at you like I messed that up. He was like, is it okay that I said my whole name?
Instead of just his last, because the guy just asked for his last. It was very funny. But he gets on stage and he fucking kills like
I'm
100%.
desperately sticking to my
But he's freaking out and like.
I cannot talk. Like my mouth is so
This is
dry.
where we were kind of dogging on him. Like he goes up there with the plan every single time type shit. I was like, just go up there and like, you're high already. You can't do any worse than you think you're gonna do. Like, and he did great. But he was fighting for his life, sucking his own teeth the whole time.
I was trying to get. There was no liquid in my face. I just couldn't talk.
What?
You need saliva to be able to talk. Otherwise, there's too much friction to make words. So that's what was happening there. Yeah, that was fun. So this one guy was, so I was super high, and I didn't go on. I was there for like 2 hours before I went on. I was just like sitting and like pacing around. And this
The people
one
in
guy,
Lafayette made a very different call to the people in Austin.
yeah, I was like, tell me, can they tell I'm high? And she's like, no, because they don't know you. And so I'm like,
They just
do they
think
just
you're
think
like
I'm
that.
like retarded or something? And they're like, yeah. But they liked me.
Of
And they
course.
invited me back. But the point is, this guy.
And
So-
next time I go, I'm headlining. But the
know
point
that.
is,
I don't know about all that. But they liked. The point is, this one guy, I was telling Timely, it's like, I'm getting bad energy from this guy. Like, he doesn't like me. I think something's. I don't know. This is very negative aura. And then I find out he's playing death on the roast. So I'm so high. I think I'm picking up on like some energy, and he's literally just like putting on like makeup, and he's like wearing all black robes, and I'm just like, something's off about this guy. I'm not a fan.
what's going on with that? Why is he so serious? That's funny.
Why did he tell me memento mori? Oh, so what does that mean?
That's a thing that death says to you.
I know I was making a joke. What? The point is,
No one can tell sometimes.
because you have autism too. Okay, so you told me to do crowd work tonight. and
Disclaimer: Rick wants you to know he does not have autism. He told me earlier.
That's
Yes.
what I've been told.
By his
I
therapist.
honestly, I don't think you do.
I don't know.
I think,
I have problems. I have ADHD.
yeah,
But-
you're neurodivergent for sure,
Oh yeah.
but I don't think it's autism. Like, with Jack, autism, Kansai, maybe a little. It's hard to tell because of the language barrier.
Yeah.
So it's hard to
Oh, sure.
Is he autistic or is he just foreign and quiet?
Oh yeah.
Colin.
But what? I've been drinking. I was at the show. I've been
Drinking.
drinking a little. Okay.
You're a happy drinker.
So the point is,
autistic?
I think he is.
Okay.
I think
Has
he's
he
talked
said
about.
so?
I think he's talked about.
I don't know. I can't remember. Maybe he has.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so that's why I'm taking initiative and putting on shows.
So, what is your crowd work strategy? Because I don't think I've ever really. I've done like, if someone says something to me, I respond. Well, there's some back and forth, but I've never gone like, hey, you.
Well,
Actually, I did tonight.
he
a little
watched
bit.
you tonight too. 'Cause
Yeah, I watched you.
Yeah, he watched you tonight, and I saw you like do crowd work.
Yeah. So what did you just start doing it? I never.
did a lot, but what do you mean? My strategy in terms of how do I start it?
Like what do you ask certain questions that you go to, or do you?
Wait for a thing to happen.
Yeah. How do you?
It's
do
a mix of all of it. I've just been. I have jokes that I start with a question to the audience, and then I go into crowd work about what their thing is, and then I go to my joke.
I wrote that down actually because I have certain jokes I thought like I should just ask them and then do my thing.
Yeah, and you can just see what happens and then bring it back to your joke. I have other moments where I say specific some things like about my dad or about my mom or about my ex, whatever it is, and then some people react really strongly, and I'm like, well, what's going on with you right there? Why are you? And then so I ask them a little bit, and then I start. Or then somebody heckles or says something, and then I watch the audience from time to time, and I try to pick up on reactions. Like if I see somebody like who's hating my jokes, and I'll be like, why do you hate it?
See, I would never do that.
Yeah.
Like they hate me. They know that I'm.
No, when I explained what Narcan was, there was like I would look at the audience. There was one guy wearing a snapback that went. And I was like, "You're nodding too hard. You've OD'd before." Like,
yeah, I just watch the audience, see what they're reacting to, and then I'll try to find an organic reason to be. This is why I'm asking you a question right now, because if I said something about pregnancy, for example, and some girl is like, "Well, what happened to you? Why are you laughing this hard at this?" Of course, it's funny, but like I try to just it's a dialogue, right? So that's what I heard from people that were discussing crowd work on other podcasts. It's stand up, but it is a conversation with the audience, even if it's one-sided. So their reaction is their response to what you're saying. So in a way, if you can pick up on their reactions, whether they're laughing or they're crying or they're saying "oh" or whatever they're saying, you can take that as well. I'm not now. Instead of going to my next joke, I'm gonna respond to I'm gonna establish dialogue with you. You know.
I don't do a lot of like direct crowd work one-on-one, but it is like an interactive thing. Like I don't like comics who are basically doing like one-man shows and who do the exact same things in the exact same way. And if it's killing or if it's bombing or if there's anything going on, they're just doing the exact same like that. Like I get it. I just don't really like it.
I have a few of those. But then it's about I switch it up. Also, for example, when I talk to a lady who's in a couple or to a guy who's in a couple, then I always ask the opinion of the other one. Because it's always fun getting the perspective of both instead of just one.
I think like trusting yourself too, like to a degree of knowing that when you do ask the question that you can take, because I think that's might be some apprehension of like, oh, it's a little bit of an unknown, but knowing that who you are to be able to take whatever happens. And
I don't think everybody needs to do crowd work. I was just trying to find a way to explore my skills, develop my skills, have more tools in my arsenal, and also slowly explore what I can do to break the rhythm of the monotony of my hour.
That's literally what I said, right?
Yeah.
When I was doing my little catchphrases things, it's like break up the
or me reading my notebook.
The system.
You break the system. Like Jeselnik is the only one I know who can just keep going in his jokes, But Jimmy Carr, he does crowd work. Dimitri Martin, he's pulling up his illustrations and
Has
he's
notepad and- The first joke I ever remember was him about it's like what the glass is half full of. It's like people say it's half empty or half full. What's it full of? It's baby blood. And I remember being super little and my mom loving that joke and thinking it was very, very funny.
The producer says I'm not close enough to the mic. So now I'm gonna be. You told me to be at the same level as him, so I'm trying to match his tone. But apparently, for his tone, I have to be this close. I have to embrace the mic. I have to. You have to make out the mic to be at the right volume, apparently.
So,
So
welcome.
Welcome to
This is Michael.
this is very awkward.
Get like those ear-shaped mics. We got
Oh my god.
cut that.
Is that what you no? Keep that in.
Yeah, keep it in.
Save it for timely.
Zoom in, and clip it.
It'll make us.
So let's see. So Dimitri Martin, what comics like do you look up to now, or did you used to look up to? Let's do a brief sort of,
I love Dimitri.
Dimitri. We talked about Stuart Lee a little in Austin.
Yeah, Stuart
And
is
not-
incredible.
Not a ton of people. Like some people know.
He's big in Europe.
He's big in. Well,
Yep.
yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of, are we looking at comedians I enjoy listening to, or are we talking comedians I'm trying to learn from? Not that-
Whatever you want to take it.
like, cause I like James Acaster a lot. If I stay on British comedians, but over
Daniel
here,
Simonson.
dude, he's my goat. Can't
He
even.
was here in Houston.
Did you
a
watch
few
him?
weeks ago.
He
I
did-
didn't go to see it. One of our friends opened for him though.
I've only seen
Insanely jealous.
him live once. I almost did a show with him in Norway, but he didn't because he was back home to visit his family or something. But he didn't want to do any spots. But no, I remember I saw him in 2019 in New York. I had just started stand up. I went to the cellar to watch people, and I didn't know who he was. Like, I should have known because he's been on British TV a bunch, but I didn't know. And then he came on stage. He did whatever minutes. I was crying laughing.
Mm-hmm.
I was just, this guy is saying
Do you have a
every
favorite
joke. Huh?
Do you have a favorite joke that sticks out?
Well,
I like his where he has to dress up like a toothbrush or something.
to me, it's the one you can ruin dinner by without saying nothing. Okay, but yeah, without saying anything.
Mm-hmm.
It was he did a set. I was just crying, and then 1 week later he was on
Late Night or Steve Colbert or something.
yeah, with Colbert, yeah, and it was pretty much that set.
Yeah.
That I saw. So of course it was a super polished set that I got to see instead of new stuff. But Jesus Christ, is good.
That's cool to see something and then like right out and be like, oh my god, I saw it right before. Like,
Yeah, but it blew my mind because I was like, I'll never be. I'm not worthy. Like, I can't. We're in the same universe. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't. Honestly, when I watched your half hour today, I watched like the first 10 minutes and I was like, I need to stop watching this because it's too in the same.
It's terrible.
No, it's because we are discussing similar topics, kinda. Not all of them, of course. Not like I have a joke for everything you have a joke for, but and your delivery is different. Your writing style is different from mine, even if people can tell or cannot tell. However, I'm like, I might end up in a similar spot of punchlines on some topics at some point. I don't want to know what he's writing about. Right?
Oh yeah,
I don't want to know. I don't want to hear it.
True.
Yeah.
I don't really watch much stand up, and I think I used to have an issue of finding my voice, and what helped was just not watching stand up for an extended period of time. People keep saying like one person said this person listened to too much Jezelnik, and it's like he's not even like in my top like 25 that I've listened to a lot, but I do get it at the same time.
Of course, but they're gonna. People want to compare us. People that watch Kill Tony are always gonna compare us to something. It's unavoidable. You're a public figure now,
especially if the other person is on Kill Tony.
Yeah, or not. Yeah, but no. But it was Heath. He was telling me like you do your set and then next week they're like comparing you to Bill Burr and saying, well, this guy's terrible. It's like, yeah, I'm only whatever.
It's like,
2
this
years.
guy's not as good as Bill Burr.
Yeah, like when I go on Reddit and be like,
Wow.
this guy sucks. I'm like, yeah, these guys that you think are amazing have been doing it for 30 years.
It's like, you can watch whoever you want.
Yeah, but of course we're less
You want to
good.
watch. So, who else do you look up to in a way? I don't really look up to anyone like.
Louis C.K.
Yeah, he's probably.
Bill Burr.
He is actually my goat. Would be
Yeah.
Louis.
Chappelle.
Chappelle is
Those
the
are the
most
obvious ones. Yeah.
is the most starstruck I've ever been. Is when I went to see Chappelle.
Yeah, same here. But honestly, I guess Hedberg. When I was a kid, I loved Louis Black.
Mm-hmm.
I used to love. Dude, I've seen so many people. I used to watch stuff that was like not from stand-up comedians as well, like one-man shows that were I found it very interesting. Like like John Leguizamo has incredible specials of him just alone on stage. I've watched all of them. Henry Rollins,
Henry Rollins is one of my favorite.
I've seen him live.
I've seen him live in Houston.
Yeah, he's just incredible. So like I'm like so a lot of different people, just different approaches to being on stage alone.
Yeah. What's your schedule like now? You go to Europe, then you come back, and then you do tours. How does that work? That sounds.
It's all new.
exhausting.
It's all new. I left my job in February, but I started coming to the US since the fall of last year. So I was taking holidays and just in and out for 3 days to the US.
So you would have to fly in every time you use your golden ticket.
Yeah.
And I'm annoyed by the 3-hour drive.
Yeah, you're being a little bitch.
Yeah.
To be honest.
People used to say like you're wasting your time. You go to Austin every week. You drive there and drive back every week. And I'm like, no, Kyle drives, and I take an edible and hang out at a bar. It's fine. But they're like, you're wasting your time. It's like
No, that's the
like
people who tell you that you're wasting your time. You're always wasting your time on these things until
It's
you
not.
suddenly break out and make it big. Well, why do you play guitar? You're never getting anywhere. And then maybe 5 years from then, your band is just famous, And they're like, well, I never thought of it. So, everybody who has made it were wasting their time, but were just stubborn
it's fun
through
time.
it. The only difference is other people might just keep wasting their time.
I think you get rewarded for putting effort into something,
Yeah.
like 100%. If you were working towards something, that it is almost impossible not to see something
I
from
honestly
it.
didn't feel like I was wasting my time because I was like working, but then I was just doing something I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
I like writing jokes. I like going on stage.
It's
and
sort
telling
of
my
up
jokes.
to you if you're wasting your time.
You said you were going like 3 days. Whenever I was first going to Austin for like 6 months, I would come to Houston Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but I would spend the rest of the week in Austin, and I would either drive or take a bus and literally get off on 6th Street
Yeah.
and do shows and do mics. And then it was a ridiculous thing to spend a bunch of time doing, but it felt 100% worth it.
Like,
Like,
other people waste their time watching TV or doing sports, going to the gym 6 times a week and overtraining their bodies, or watching movies or hiking. I mean, whatever. Who's wasting whose time? As long as you're enjoying it, as long as
Exactly.
something you want to do, then it's fine. But yeah, my schedule now is I have less time to write now that I quit my job than when I had a job, which is a bit bizarre.
What's your writing? How, do you like sit down like I'm gonna write a joke, or
Yeah.
does it just come to you?
Both.
Both.
Both. Most times I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna sit down to write a joke, and then I can't write a joke about the thing I want to write about, but I write a joke about something else, because I do sit down to write. Like, I try to allocate myself time to
I like that.
create.
I should
Now I'm
try
gonna.
that. I mean, I don't think I.
But it doesn't matter the way that's something I learned. I think it was Stephen King or whoever, but like he would sit down and write X number of pages per day, and it was his goal, right? So the way I see it is, okay, let me sit down and write, and if it's garbage, I sat down and wrote.
Mhm.
I'm gonna sit down and write, and that could, if I just wait for something to happen, then it's not gonna.
Hmm.
Do you like Stephen King? Do you have a favorite Stephen King book or movie?
Oh, I'm not obsessed with Stephen King like other people are.
You
but
piqued his
I'm not
interest.
obsessed, but I am.
my
interested.
favorite story from Stephen King is The Thinner that he wrote as a Richard Bachman.
I've never.
It's my favorite story.
Ooh, tell him about it.
You wanna spoil
Sure,
it?
tell me about it. Yeah, spoil it.
No, not Thinner. The Long Walk.
The long.
That's
That's
my
the
first.
Hunger Games thing, right? It's
Mm.
like, it's okay.
Sorry,
'cause
I confused. I brain farted. My favorite. I love Thinner.
Mhm.
In my opinion, he never gets as thin as me. So what the hell? What are you even talking about? But my favorite story is The Long Walk.
So I bought that for my cousin because she's obsessed with the Hunger Games, and I never read it. I just gave it to her. So
It's
now I'm
actually-
gonna demand it back.
You should. It's a short read.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Read it.
great story. It's so much better than The Hunger Games.
Don't tell her that. She'll be very upset. Not
I'm not.
my
Not
cousin.
me. No, I was saying not
My
me.
cousin's probably not a fan of the.
I am not
I mean,
your
I like
cousin.
The Hunger Games, but The Long Walk is such a great story.
Yeah, I mean, it's Stephen King. Do you have a favorite Stephen King movie?
I mean, I guess the original TV mini 2-episode
The
thing.
Tim Curry
Mhm.
thing?
Yeah, but I like Apt Pupil.
I don't know what that is.
Apt Pupil is with Brad Renfro, and is this as he's playing this teenager who finds out his old neighbor used to be a Nazi, and he threatens him with I'm
There's
gonna
a Family Guy episode about this.
yeah. So he's like I'm gonna expose you, or you tell me all about the stuff you did. And it's this weird dynamic.
And then
that
what
I'm
happens,
saying-
Rick?
No, that's
And then-
the beginning of the movie.
Okay.
Then you watch the movie.
Okay, we'll watch the movie.
Apt Pupil.
Apt people.
Yeah. And then there's like Needful Things is great.
Yeah, Needful. I've seen that. What's your favorite, Colin?
So the first horror movie I ever watched, I think the real reason I like Stephen King is because the first horror movie I ever watched, which I avoided because they're scary, so I would never watch horror movies.
Yeah, they are.
And then in school, in like 7th grade, I don't know why, we watched Storm of the Century,
Mhm.
which is a made-for-TV. It wasn't an adaptation. He wrote it for like ABC. It's like a 6-hour long movie about basically a demon comes to this town in Maine that's frozen and like snowed in or something like that, and he's like demanding a child as
Nice.
like a protege or something, and I was fucking ever since then. And
Is this your favorite movie? That was the question.
no, it's up there, okay. And my favorite Stephen King movie, might be The Green Mile.
Oh, the Green Mile's great.
I don't actually like Shawshank as much as everyone else.
I love Shawshank.
I really do like The Green Mile.
The difference with Shawshank is, if you saw it when it came out, in the context of when it came out, it was fantastic. I think when you rewatch it, it has less of an impact than when it came out.
Okay.
I met Stephen King.
No fucking.
Really? When? Tell us.
I did a road trip in 2019 in the Northeast, starting in New York, and I drove to Maine.
Sounds like a Stephen King book.
All right.
And I went to Portland, Maine, and I was like, well, let me see where his house is. And sure enough, there were other people trying to, see the house or whatever. And I was just kind of waiting there, and it's like maybe he's not even in town for all I know. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I went to buy some books. I bought a first edition of The Long Walk, and another one. And then I got in my car, and I was like, all right, he's not here, whatever. And then I saw some commotion. I turned around, and he was out to walk his dog. I went back out.
And you said hi?
I said hi. I had him sign a book.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that is insane. I have a photo with him signing the book.
That's his dream.
Yeah, I met Stephen King.
I want to meet.
I held.
My dream is to meet George Lucas. to be clear.
Yes.
I
To
held
be
his
very
leash,
clear.
the leash of his dog. It was
You held Stephen King. That's how you should have started the
Yeah.
story. I met Stephen King, but I held Stephen King's dog on a leash.
It sounds like you held him hostage.
Yeah,
He's not a serial killer.
yeah, it was amazing.
He said
That's
that
awesome.
unprompted. He
Unprompted.
said, "I am not a serial killer," and I was like, okay.
Everyone say it at the same time.
And I'm also not a lot of things, but
Look, a lot of things are favorite.
"Have you ever had a run-in with the police that was an interesting story?"
Oh yeah, that you're willing to talk about.
Yeah.
And we'll cut out whatever you want.
No, you're fine. I've never committed a crime that required the police to intervene.
What about a friend? You've never been present? Well, like a friend.
You never had a bad
None of my
influence.
stories would be as dramatic as American stories. I had an interesting run-in with.
Let's see.
No, I had a fun run-in with the police back in Brussels, back in the day in Belgium. So for context, in Brussels, houses are mostly, even if they've been over time converted into apartment houses, most of the houses are stuck to each other. So you have a one block of many houses. Like there's no space between houses. And a lot of these houses have a garage door to park your car. And you're not allowed to park in front of a garage.
Okay.
That's a religion in Brussels. You get your car towed. You do not park because you're blocking the way. So
how much do they charge for a tow?
It can get a price.
It's Europe, so it's more expensive. So it's $30,000 per.
Yeah. So I come back home from work, and there's a police car parked in front of the garage of my apartment building. And what really annoyed me was two things. Number one, this police car doesn't have his lights on or anything, so there's no real sign of urgency here. It's just a car parked on the street. Number two, in front of him, there's an entire space for another car, so he could have just pulled ahead and not blocked that entrance. He could have just advanced. So I called the police. Not to the general number, but to the number of the office of my neighborhood, which I have on my phone at the time. And I was like, this car is in front of my garage. There's no good reason for it. There's no lights. There's no emergency. But 10 minutes later, and meanwhile I'm blocking traffic. I mean, kind of, the police comes down, cop comes down, and he's like, why are you complaining? Your police matter. It's urgent. And he's just giving me shit. And I'm like, well, first of all, your lights are not on. So as far as I know, you're not on duty. You're just parked in front of a garage door. Number two, you had room in front of you. He gets getting angry. It's like, well, no, wait. I'm like, but I'm paying your salary right now. So you're like, what are you doing? He was so angry. He was just so angry. But the thing was, I was in the right. Because if your lights are not on, you're not on duty. It's just a car that's parked on the street. So get the F out of my garage door because you're blocking my entrance. And then he was staring me down. He drove away. He was looking back. He did a U-turn just to keep staring at me. Right now, I was like,
European cops are hilarious.
He's like, yeah, bye. Like, what? Whatever. I've had good interactions as well, so
That sounds like a good interaction.
No, yeah, I mean,
this is how every interaction with police is in Europe, probably.
Nah, I mean, there's definitely it's getting. This is years ago, and it's getting definitely way worse. And now they're very much more. They are American
model.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they're more armed. They're more.
It's a militarization.
It's less.
What language did this interaction take place?
French.
Je peux pas sortir.
Non, je peux pas rentrer.
Oh, rentrer.
I can't enter. Yeah.
What's your first language?
I mean, I guess the French probably.
Okay.
It's Spanish, but then I did all of my school and my education in French.
Okay.
So that's.
Tell him what you went to school for.
Well, I didn't go to school for it. I minored in French.
Okay.
His major is it?
Eh bien, on va faire le podcast en français.
Well, that's, oh my god.
He made.
Ne sont pas très bien. Okay.
That's pretty good. You should come to Brussels.
Je peux lire meilleur que je peux parler.
I've told him there's a comic from Houston who lives in Belgium now who does a bunch of shows. Yeah, Robin. He has a very open invitation for both of us to come out there, and I've told you about that.
Robin lives just outside of Robin Weinberg. He lives just outside of Brussels.
I love him. Every time he comes in Houston, we always hang out.
He's in a place called Leuven, which is it's not a French-speaking town. It's a Dutch-speaking town,
really?
But it's got a university and stuff. There's a lot of students, and he's putting on open mics there and trying to grow the scene there and help. And he's helping out young comics.
Yeah, I would really love to go see him.
English.
Mm-hmm.
Allons-y.
Yeah, no, I've told you, I really want to, and he's opened that invitation for a while.
Yeah, but what you do is you come to Brussels, you do a few mics in Brussels, and then you go there on Sunday or whatever.
Yeah.
He did put a headlining show for me at one of the bars.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he can do the same for you.
We can double headline again.
Yeah, well, I'd be down, but you can headline on your own now. So.
We'll see.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can.
I have to get my merch first.
No, you need to get your minutes first.
I think my minutes are fine. How long is a headlining set normally?
I mean, most clubs expect you to do 45. I mean, in the US, right?
Yeah.
In Brussels, I mean, I don't know. That's up to you, but it's gonna be, I'm assuming 45. Sometimes some shows you can do 30.
Yeah, I can add 15 to what I did tonight.
Well, you should
Fine.
practice.
I have to memorize it. That's
You don't
what
have
time.
to memorize it. Just
Yeah, you don't have to memorize it, Timely.
You don't have to, man. Just have your list of jokes on your stool, and it'll be fine.
I'm not mad at you. You just don't need to be tethered to
What's the longest set you've done?
30.
30. Did you memorize everything?
No.
No, she had
So
legal papers.
No.
Yeah.
3 pages, she said.
No. I've done multiple 30 minutes. That was my first one. I had a legal pad.
It's the first time ever I did every joke that I wanted to do. I've always cut it off somewhere.
That's great.
And so that was cool.
Yeah. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And
Thank you for coming to do this show.
Yeah, I sold some of my little merch. They keep talking about my merch like I have so much stuff. I've been
Compared to me.
Well, what's happened is I started with stickers, and I have a bunch of them. I need to reprint. Actually, I need to order. That's in my to-do list. I need to order stickers, and then these guys in San Antonio that hooked me up with air fresheners. So La Conecta, and then thank you. And then so I had air fresheners. I was like, I have stickers and air fresheners. Then I did a show last month in Oklahoma. No, this month maybe, or whatever, a few weeks ago in Oklahoma. And they were like, oh, a lot of comedians just have these little posters. They're pretty easy to print. Why don't you do that? So I went to print posters. So now I have a few posters, but I ran out of. Well, I need to go print posters tomorrow actually. Just little things. And then they sent me my first batch of T-shirts, like second batch, like with this design.
The T-shirts are pretty cool.
T-shirts.
I love the t-shirts. How big are the posters?
Posters are 8x12.
Oh, that's
roughly.
nice. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, people came up to the merch table and they're like, "Where's yours?" And I was like, "I'm new to this."
It takes a while. Plus, like you have to carry it with you. It's like, how much do I carry? What do I do? The thing with the T-shirts, the reason why I don't have them is because I just go on the road with one backpack.
Yeah.
So the posters, I can flat pack them. The stickers don't take that much space. But T-shirts,
That's a lot.
what do I take?
Yeah.
5? That's a lot of room in a backpack. And then what? I still have 5 T-shirts for sale.
You better be one of these sizes.
No, so you have to carry a whole bag, and then you have to check it in. You know.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like a little apprehensive with the T-shirts. I don't really know what to do about it.
Just sell them online.
But I can probably do that.
Do you have a website? I don't have.
I have a website. It's there's only a landing page, and I need to change some of the stuff on the merch. I think.
How did you make it yourself? What'd you do?
I bought the domain name. It had an option to have a landing page. As by the domain provider. I don't know, GoDaddy or whatever. And then I just said, okay, I have a split. When you open and then I got the link tree, and the link tree can have the HTML code to embed it. So I put that on the landing page at least. Okay, if you go to my website that has one page, there's a link tree and the contact details, and that's it.
I went to One Comic's website and it's had a video tab, and it had the same video like 6 times. I was like, yeah, this is about how it would be if I had a website.
No, it would not.
No, but it's good to have because, for example, when you post a promo with your ticket links or something, and in the description, if you say link tree or bio, but if you say website, or I can say, rickdiez.com or something, it's a little easier for people to understand where to go.
Yeah, we made promos for our show, and they kept saying, like, Mike kept asking for videos. We need to release a reel or all this stuff, and I didn't have any ideas, so I just thought, like, I'll do one where.
I'm talking about the one and we're dressed fancy.
Yeah, I'll do one. So I just told Tom, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do it, and you, since you're hosting, you interrupt and say, and I'm hosting, and I'm like, no one cares. It's me. That's funny. And then one of the comments,
and cruel.
Yeah, one of the comments is like, she's so annoying. It's like, leave her alone.
I can take it. I've been doing this for a while.
You've been annoying for a while?
My whole life.
Oh, yeah.
Since the day I was born. How do you think it feels waking up in this body?
Yeah, so some people defended her, and some people were like, I'm with you.
We were dressed all fancy because our friend was filming
Well, I
like
think-
a sketch.
Yeah, I think what people might not understand if they come to your podcast off of Kill Tony, right, is they don't understand how fickle it is to get a golden ticket. Meaning, there are so many things have to go right to get a golden ticket. Because it's also about who was there on the show before you. A lot of people have great sets,
The
but
crowd has to be.
but depending on the crowd or depending on who was there before, it doesn't feel as, you don't stand out as much necessarily always. It's so fickle, right? Or Tony's mood that day, what is he going to be sensitive to that day? You don't know, you know. I don't always want to listen to certain jokes. You know, some days I want to hear this. I don't want to listen to hard to rock all the time. You know, so it depends. And so like maybe on another day with different jokes, you would get it and he wouldn't.
Yeah.
It's for all we know. It's, you know, if you guys are, and you have pre-existing friendships and relations in the comedy scene that people, oh, this guy's a golden ticket and we don't know who she is, but you guys know each other. You guys, you know, are helping each other.
She picked my first set list.
Yeah.
Oh, and like, I mean, so like we met each other by like him asking for a spot on my show and me like not
Oh, that's so
remembering
funny.
who he was or is, and he comes up like 6 months into and again into comedy and with his notebook, and he's like, hi, and I'm like, did I tell you could be on this show? And he's like, yes, and I'm like, okay, and like look at my fucking lineup, reorder it so I can give this fucking kid I do not remember like
Did she say
5
that?
minutes, and I don't remember. I was just like, okay, cool, and put him on. I'm like, at least he's kind of cute, I guess, whatever. Like, I hope he doesn't say anything too fucking bad.
Racist.
And racist, as long as it's funny, it's fine. Just bad. And he gets on stage and fucking murders for like five
It was
five
a
minutes.
big crowd.
And I had like it was on my Sunday night showcase that I have at Secret Group, and it's like it was 60, 70 people there on a Sunday night. He fucking murdered. I was so nervous because I was like, oh my God, he's gonna fuck, I don't know this kid person. And he killed, and he got off stage, and I immediately I was like, you're a good comedian,
She was
dude.
so surprised.
I was so surprised. I just never met him really before, and so that was the first time we met each other. And then I gave him spots on all of my shows after that. And well, I don't remember the first two.
Well, the first time was at a Laughing Gas show. The first words she ever said to me were "Don't sit there," because she was sitting next to a chair that was broken.
I didn't want him to fall.
Yeah, and I was like, "There's no more chairs," so I just sat there and sort of just balanced. And I was like, and I was aware of you, but I was like, are you Timely Rain? And you were like, yeah. I was like, okay, I'm calling. And you said, I'm really high. And I said, okay, I'll introduce myself again sometime. And then like a couple weeks later, I got eliminated at Axelrad super early. It's a minute mic here competition, and I just went to Secret Group to wait for the open mic or whatever, and I just sat in the green room even though I wasn't on the show, and I was like, Timely, can I do a spot? And you said no. And you said, but message me on Instagram and I'll put you on next week. And I did, and then you checked the Instagram message and you said, you did this. I come back a week later, you said, who are you? I pulled up our Instagram chat. I'm like, don't fucking try this with me. No, I didn't say that.
It would be funny if next time he goes on Kill Tony, if Tony's like, who are you? No, but you gave me a golden
No,
ticket.
but you
I
gave me a
do not remember.
he's like, Tony gave me more time than you
Yeah,
did,
I love that.
Timely.
So Tony's like, you want to do 8 or 10 minutes? And that was, the first show that I did,
Yeah.
At the
for
mothership.
Tony. And then Tony's like, look, you can have 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I was nervous, but no, and like you were very, very funny immediately, and I was like, okay, cool. But
And then you made a
took minute.
notes app list of comics, you
Well-
like, and I was one of them, even though you'd only see me one time.
I did. It was not a finished list. I spelled
Not a
2 of the comics' names wrong.
She spelled my name right, which one of the few people who has, because a lot of people skip the
People
L.
spell your name wrong all the time.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, on my bio on Instagram, I had to put not Rick Diez, so that if people misspell it, you will still
It's
find
still.
it.
Oh, that's. Come on,
my
SEO. I see you.
That's my friend. My friend Antoine. He's a French comic out of Bangkok, where I started, but he's an SEO
Genius.
genius.
Yeah.
He was like, dude, put that on.
That's so good. That's so good.
Do I need to do
My name
something?
is good for SEO. I'll tell you that. It ain't nobody. Like, look up Timely. It's
But your
not a
name
real
is,
name.
Little complicated.
Yeah, it is.
Guys, I need to drive back to Austin. I don't know how we're doing.
Well, I think I've never been this hungry in my life.
I'm so hungry.
We're gonna
Do you
run.
think Postino's is open?
What? Totino's?
Yeah.
It's
Ju-
Pistoleros. You're messing it. Okay.
Just for reference, it's midnight and I have a 3-hour drive. In case people see this and they're like, this guy wants to stop the
pussy.
This guy wants to stop the podcast because
Thank you for coming so much. Thank you for staying up late. Please get home safe. You drove here in the rain. I feel so bad for you.
as long as the rain has stopped.
It has, apparently.
I'm gonna stop at Bucky's.
Yeah, what are you going to get? What's your Bucky? Okay, last thing. What's your Bucky's order?
Cashews. I love the cashews.
They're really good. The candied cashews? Yeah, they're very good.
Cashews are amazing.
They're-
No, to be fair, if I ordered a burger, I would fall asleep
Do you eat the beef
immediately.
jerky?
No.
She when she drove us back from Lafayette, she had to drink like a Red Bull or something. I felt bad because it was my car.
Rick has to leave.
I could have driven, but I was okay.
No, you're good.
I was super hot. I was wrapping it up. This is not a long story.
Yeah, but she's wrapping it up.
I was insanely high, and you had to drink a Red Bull, and that's the entire story.
Boom.
Okay, thank
Hey.
you for coming.
Thank you for having me, Colin Sledge.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
There you go.
which is half of a very weird name and half a porn star name.
I'm trying. Just kidding. My mom gave it to me, and I hate it. Thanks.
You hate it?
No.
Timely?
No, yeah, it's my real name. I did not choose this, Rick. I need you to know.
Okay.
It's a cool name. Okay,
It's a pretty cool name. All right. Thank you so much for having me.
thanks for coming. Have a safe drive. Drink a Red Bull.
Thanks, Kyle.